This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
You're listening to INC Radio.
Broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. DZEM 954 AM station. Here to bring you great conversations about faith, people, places, culture, and recent events all around the district. Join us on YouTube at INCRadio.org. Hello, Northern Midwest and the rest of the world. It's time to get this show started.
Hey everyone, it is time to get this show started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's tuning in to INC Radio Northern Midwest Satellite Studio. One of your hosts for today, Gabriel Romero from Bloomingdale, Illinois. Yes, and maybe you noticed I have a different background today, just trying a new change of pace. But I think that actually fits in with uh, our topic for today's show, which you could see down below, is to make way for what's next. So, we're going to be talking about in our broadcast today just situations and instances wherein, it may be the best decision to move forward with certain things. And it actually can apply to a lot of situations, which I'm going to be discussing with EJ here, who's also on our
Yeah,
show.
you're making me feel conscious there. I'm like, oh wait, should I have changed my background too?
No, no need, no need. But if you have, maybe those in our live chat have any suggestions or any situations wherein they've had to deal with the same thing with having to move on from a peculiar circumstance or situation, or doesn't have to be a super serious thing, but we'll discuss as many as we can during our show. So please feel free to share those in our broadcast, in our live chat there on the side or down below, wherever it may be. But let's begin our discussion. So you know what, EJ, like in those situations wherein we have to move on and move forward, it's not necessarily situations that we may have to deal with like internally, like when we were coming up with this topic, like there were
Mhm.
certain times where it could be just simple situations wherein, it's like, we gotta get rid of the old, replace it with something new. I know one situation I could think of is like with our wardrobe, for example. Like we
Mhm.
were discussing this a lot too, like every summer or every winter, you have to bring out like the jacket here, like in the Midwest, right? We have to bring out like the jackets, like the thick puffy coats that we may not have worn
Yeah.
in a while. And then when you look at it, you gotta like dust it off and you're like, oh, I haven't
Mhm.
worn this in a while. But sometimes I'm sure you've done this too, and many in our live chat have done this too. Like over the
Mhm.
summer when we're not wearing those, you see like the coat and be like, oh, this would be good for the upcoming winter. And then now you have to deal with the storage space, the closet space
Yeah.
that you have.
I mean, I
So,
talked about this. I think I talked about this last week too, when it comes to like clothes. Because what my family does is like when it's like, let's say it's getting warmer, it's going to like summer. We what we do is we kind of take like our like let's say it's getting summer. We take our winter clothes and we sort of just we put them in boxes, or like if it's like those big jackets that kind of like take up a lot of space, we put them in those like vacuum seal bags and just vacuum seal, like we flatten them, like you can fit like three jackets like really flat like this, and it saves us a lot of space just stacking them up, like everyone's jackets stacking up. Yeah, we don't need to worry about ironing them until winter anyway, so it's okay.
I should be doing that too, actually, because like I even see like the vice versa, like with the summer wardrobe. Like I'll find like a nice shirt or like swimming shorts that like I haven't worn in a while too. So
Speaking of clothes, though, like I think I've come to the point now where I realize that I'm also getting bigger like physically, because
Mm-hmm.
like I've like recently transitioned from wearing medium, because before I would always buy medium, like
Yeah.
that, because that's like the size that fits me, like that's the size that I think looks best on me, like medium clothes. But recently I've been like, well, I feel like my shirts are like too small, or like they're a little too short, where I'm having to pull my shirt down every time I raise my hand. I have to pull it down. Like, I've reached that point of like my clothes. So now I'm like, okay, I think I need to buy new shirts. So I'm slowly buying like large size shirts, although they're still a little bit like big on me. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a better fit now, because like I like see, the thing is, before, here's another thing about like
Uh-huh.
moving to the next thing, fashion, right? Before,
Yeah.
I would wear skinny jeans, slim fits. Like, that's sort of like my style before. Now I'm actually I actually kind of look more now towards like loose fits and stuff like that. So I guess it's part of it is like also my fashion changing. So uh like um what we do with our own clothes is like, if my brother doesn't want it, we kind of put it away, put it in a box where we pile it up, and then once
Mm-hmm.
that's full, we donate those we donate those clothes, because I mean, what else are we gonna do? We're either gonna throw it away, or we're gonna give it to someone else, or if they don't want it either, we just donate them to like
Right.
like stores. you know
At least you're not in the middle ground where like I am, where like the past couple of years where like I've kind of gone in between. So like
Mhm.
sometimes like a medium will fit, and then other times, oh, it feels a little tight, and then like I'll go back like on a diet, and then the medium will fit comfortably again. So I'm like hesitant on like what to buy because I'm not sure where I'm gonna
This is
end
why I
up.
insist on like trying out the clothes, because I know, depending on what country it was produced,
Yes,
like
that's true.
let's say, if if it's a shirt that's made in,
Hmm.
like, let's say, Asia, right? Like, if it's made in Asia, I
It'll run
know that I
so.
have to get an extra, like, I have to get an extra large, because if I just get a regular large, that's closer to a medium here.
Here,
Like, if it's made in the
exactly.
US, like a medium here, it's closer to the large there. So I know that if it's like, I'll look at where it's made, and like, okay, if it's made in Asia, like, if like, I know I have to get a size up, because it's like the sizing is like, it's different. So yeah, I guess that might be it. That might be it, Dave. Like, that might be the
So
thing.
that'll be the solution for me. Okay. I'll try to figure that out. Um, I was like, just yeah, borrow from other people too could work. I'm sure like there's some nice like hand me down. Like I'm even like
Mm,
thinking about it too. Like there's like fashions that are like coming back, like that were in like
mm,
more in
mm,
style back then. Like you could just repurpose those too. You never know. I have
mm.
to see if like my cousins or something have some clothing that
I'd
like
say
they don't have.
thrifting has been kind of like more popular like lately. Like, like looking for. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot more bell bottoms now.
Ah, I
Yeah.
hear those are coming back.
Yeah, I feel they are coming back. I think, and like I'm seeing a lot of people wearing bell bottoms. So like, oh, nice. That's like that. I remember that from like, I wasn't born in like the '70s, but like I watched like '70s movies, and I remember seeing those a lot. And I was like, what kind
Hmm.
of pants are those? Like the ones where
Yeah.
like he's fanning at them. But but yeah, I feel like I'm turning this into like a fashion fashion topic. So what's that now? What's next in terms
Like,
of like like moving forward?
what was that? Sorry.
Like
Oh,
moving forward.
like uh, to continue, I guess, kind of in the things you kind of need to maybe keep updating. As a maybe
Mm,
for a wardrobe, you kind it depends. Like it's your own style, but like when it comes to, I guess, more things that you kind of need, like gadgets,
mm,
maybe you kind of have to like update because at least with phones, and like computers and stuff, like they'll be upgrading, like their systems and stuff.
Okay, I
So
have a
there will
question
come a
for
point.
you.
Yeah.
I have a question for you regarding that, Abe. Like, how frequently do you replace, like, let's say like, how
My
frequently do
phone.
you replace it?
Okay, so I ended up getting this one this year. But before that, I want to say 3 years, 2 or 3 years. Because I mean, it's also part of like my network's plan. Like you can do like an upgrade every like so often, like 2 3 years or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, so I think I get every 2 or 3 years for at least my phone.
Well, what's your kind of like? I guess what are the factors that like let you know? Like, okay, it's time to change phones.
When everything slows down.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain degree where, like, right, where you can tolerate, like, if it's
Mhm.
like slow, if like, let's say the battery is overheating and
No,
slowing.
yeah,
Like,
that
there's a
too.
point where you can tolerate it, but there's a point where it's like, like if you unplug it for like, let's say 30 minutes and the battery is already like half, and it's overheating, everything's slow, and you're like, okay, maybe time for an upgrade.
No, I'm glad that like even like my phone, like there's like the setting in there you can find like the percentage of its like max capacity, like as it was when you
Oh
first bought it,
yeah,
right? So like
yes,
when I was like scrolling through like the settings one day, and then it was like it gave that notification where, well, not a notification, but there was the message there that it was like it's time to replace the battery, or like
yeah.
it's
Like you're
already like at
saying,
that
the
point of
battery health,
penetration.
right?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I guess it's time to get a new one. I mean, but also aside from the battery, like there's just something for me about having nice quality like camera, like photos and
Mm.
videos. And like older models don't have as nicer of a quality as, newer ones. So at times you're like, I think I need to like kind of upgrade to get that nice quality footage. So that was also like a factor for me in getting a new phone. But like side note for those, I guess I'm revealing it now. Kind of a reason why I'm in this new setting is my computer, I guess, decided that it was time to quit. So I'm not broadcasting on the usual setup that I normally do. So at least I'm glad I have, a backup here, my tablet. But yeah, no, I've had the laptop for I'd say 7 8 years now. And it's been like I've been playing like video games on it too. I've been also um doing like the content creation, like our graphics and stuff for INCRadio, video editing.
So,
And I guess it got to the point where it's like, okay, you have a lot of files on here now, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what the cause
mm,
is, but like it was like, I guess all of the constant like editing and like I guess the upgrades in the sense of like the quality of like the footage I'm putting onto the laptop was like, okay, I'm done.
mhm.
So I guess I'm in the market for a laptop now.
If you have any suggestions, just let Abe know, like what your suggestion is on
Oh.
like what laptop you should get next. That's like like I'm saying, it's time for like an upgrade, right? But it's not just physically. There's also
Mhm.
there's sort of like, right, like in terms of like habits, like in terms of just starting, not really starting over, but like moving forward or looking forward, like making progress in terms of like also like like new approaches to
Mhm.
things, to problems and techniques. And I always do this with, I would say, little side note, I like, and this is like a change that I've noticed in myself. It's like in terms of like video games that I play before, it's always oh, I want action, I want like a lot of like colors like on screen. That's the kind of stuff I used to look for. Now it's like I want puzzles. I want something that has
Ah.
a lot of like different ways to solve like a problem, because
Ah.
like
Okay.
I like finding those solutions to like different problems. And I think that sort of like reflects uh my mindset now too, of like always trying to figure out like a different approach to things. So, because I'm aware of how I look at things. I'm aware of like how like instinctually I try to solve things. So now I try to look for like another approach to like solving problems. But how about you? Ian? Like what's sort of like been your journey of that?
Like I find myself having to approach new situations or like circumstances in the workplace, because for me at least, like with the customers, I guess, that I help with the research that I do, like they're coming up with new not really like models, but like new what's the word that I'm trying to think of, but like they're also updating to get the like the best quality product, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So at times like it'll be a new I guess update, so to speak, but or like a new adjustment to a formula that they made like that I haven't tested before. So I'd have to, constantly like do research on like what could work best, or like I can't stick to what I knew, if that makes sense, like because
Mm-hmm.
it is a new formula, like the way that I've tested things before won't necessarily work for the thing that I'm trying to test now. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to do a little bit of tweaking here and there to get like the best parameters, or like the best I guess environment for the analysis that I'm trying to do. And so um, that has been something for me. I mean, that I apply, or I try to apply in like other aspects of my life too. Like, because you can't really necessarily apply the same mindset to every single situation, because there's going to be like maybe a factor or two that will differ. And so you do have to approach things with an open mind and be open to, you know, maybe tweaking your mindset a little bit so that it can, so that you can problem solve appropriately. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it is a lot. It can be frustrating, I know, right?
Yeah.
Especially like if you're like me and kind of unsure of what is to come, and you're kind of comforted or you feel safe in what you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
you have
that's
to
the
look
thing, right?
forward.
That's the thing that stops like progress, like comfort. Because you're like, this works. Like this works right now. It's not perfect, but it works. It works right now. So like, there's this side of you that's like what wants to stay in that comfortable zone, right? But you can't make progress unless you tell yourself, well, that we will have to go into like the uncomfortable to come up with and uh, it's rewarding in its own way, right? To figure out another way, another solution, and it expands your options too, because
Yeah.
like when you figured out another way to solve problems, like it also it also what's the word that I'm looking for? It widens, right, the ways that you can approach a problem, that you can
Yeah.
solve, like or like if you can solve problems, that you can approach problems, that it expand, like you feel more confident, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, in yourself, right? Because you know, like if you encounter this problem, well, I can try this way, I can try, if that doesn't work, you can try this way, or if none of those work, you can figure out another way to solve it. And yes, you would have to like put yourselves in like an uncomfortable spot, like trying to figure out things. It feels like you're trying to figure things out again for the first time, because like you can't use the solutions that you used before.
Yeah.
But it's always, like, I would say that kind of like the journey is enjoyable, and the reward is also enjoyable, right? Like reaping the reward of like figuring out anything. And yeah, you would have to be uncomfortable, but like there's a payoff to it.
Yeah. Like you're kind of in a way, not to make it sound negative, but like you're kind of limiting yourself if you're gonna stick yourself in the same mindsets. But like once you find those new paths or like discover that new concept, right? You kind of
Mm-hmm.
broaden your horizons, you expand you like you reach limits that you didn't know you had, right? I feel like that's a common phrase people say
Mm-hmm.
when people discover something new, like, oh, I didn't know I had it like within me, or something like that, or a similar train of thought. So when part of like the journey or the results, whichever it may be, or both, like realizing that you can do so much more than what you thought you could. Like it is a great feeling in and of itself that you can, accomplish a lot.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
uh, being able to, I guess, whether that's within yourself or sharing it among other people too, like that's part of the experience, I think. And it's awesome to, make way for what is next, whatever it may be. And you really don't know the extent of how far that impact will reach
Mhm.
too. So right, like it could cause other people to, try something new or
Yeah.
to what's
I
the
know I
word? Yeah.
understand that, like, being in discomfort, like, let's say when you're in the journey, you want to reach the destination right away, right? Especially if the journey is uncomfortable. But just try to enjoy that process too, of making enjoy the process of making that way, or like for something better, making that way for something new. You know, like enjoy that process, because when you reach the destination, you kind of look back on the journey, and
Yeah.
like you kind of look at it in this new light, right? Of like, okay, I know the course of action now. I know what to do now. Like
Hmm.
you kind of look back at it fondly, like even.
Right.
You know.
You look back at it fondly, or like you, and there's sometimes where like you look back at what you did before, and at times you're like, oh, why did I keep doing that? Like
Mhm.
it could be a situation wherein you felt like we've been talking about safe, or like you're used to it, or it worked before, and then that's why you keep doing it. But we do eventually come to that point of I need to change this to progress, to move forward. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, it really is an exciting time to to do that.
Yes.
Like,
And
oh, I was looking through a couple of the YouTube comments here, from user WC 2024. Developing a growth mindset is key, especially in the performance of one's duties. Yes, right. As both of us, and I'm sure many who are watching in our YouTube live chat, as members of the church, right, we always want to improve ourselves, and not only ourselves, but each other as well. And so coming up with, for example, in our scope of INC Radio, right, trying to come up with, topics that interest all of you who are listening, and new concepts, part of the ways that we can make way for what is next to come. And we love listening to all of your ideas too. So please don't be shy in sharing what you want us to talk about. So we like to make the way for you as well. So
hopefully you all, you'll learn something with this topic. That's kind of like what we're talking about, right? Like making way for what's next, like
yeah.
learning something new, making way for what's next. And what's next is our CSD. But we didn't get a video, so you're gonna get a special, sort of like special CSD broadcast right now, courtesy of Amy
Yeah.
teaching us. What song are you gonna teach us?
Surprise, it's me. Let's see. Excuse me. But we're gonna sign the phrase. Well, it'll be start again. Which can mean the same as starting over or beginning again. So similar iterations. So excuse me. We have the two words. So start will be the first word. So with your non-dominant hand, you can take it, hold it up. With your dominant hand, your index finger, you'll place it in between your ring finger and the middle finger here. So in between those two, and you'll turn the ring finger. So it's like it's kind of like turning like a key, I guess you could do that. So start. So I guess you could figure it like starting a car, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So start. Okay, so that's how you sign start. For again, the second word, place your non-dominant hand out, and what you'll do with your dominant hand is bend at the knuckles here, and you'll place it in your palm twice. Okay, so again, so you'll repeat it again. Okay, so again, the phrase for start over or starting again, beginning again, start again. Okay. So again, turn for start, again. Okay. I should kind of like close it out like what what they do. And this is our CSD sign of the week, etc., etc. So yeah, so again, start again. And again, like what we've been saying, right? It's not bad to start over or start again, right? It can just create a new path for everyone. So yeah, I hope everyone
Yeah, and
enjoyed
thank you
it.
for that, Abe. Thank you for teaching us
You get a
how
live
to
one today.
sign. Yeah, start again. Okay, still remember it. But also, speaking of, like what's next? What's next? What's upcoming? We have activities. So let's talk about our upcoming
Nice.
activities here in Norwood. Let's first up tomorrow, Sunday, August 31. We have our musical evangelical mission that will be in, if I'm not mistaken, that's William Taft High School in
Yes,
Chicago.
that
And
is
there's the address.
correct.
Yeah, there's the address on the board. It starts at 5 p.m. But if I'm not mistaken, we also have a registration. So please
Mhm.
show up early to register as well. And then after that, on Monday, we have our CFO Leadership Conference. That will be in September 1 at 8 a.m., 8 a.m. Central Time. And that will be held in Chicago's chapel. So we hope to see you in both of those activities. I know they're one after the other. So we do hope to see everyone in those activities. And lastly, just before we close up our show, of course, we want to greet, just before the month's over, we want to greet the local congregations that had their anniversary
Yes.
in this month. The First off is the group worship service of Racine. They're having their 3 years anniversary, or they had their 3 years anniversary on August 9. Cleveland celebrated theirs on August 17, and they're 8 years now. 8 years. Wow. And Naperville, this one's the longest among these three. This one's long. This one's longest. August. They had theirs just 2 days ago, August 28th, and they celebrated their 12 years anniversary. So congratulations, all of the local congregations. And of course, speaking of, we do not end our show without saying our special thanks to the people who make our show possible. First off, to our district ministers here in Great Lakes, to Brother Elmer A. Sarmiento, our district minister, and to Brother Arthur P. Agag, our assistant district minister. And we want to say special thanks to Brother Wally Taray, our INCRadio station manager, and more importantly, to Brother Angelo. We want to say a special thanks to Brother Angelo Aranya V. Manalo, our Deputy Executive Minister, and most importantly, to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Minister. And just before we close up, before I forget, we also have a new time slot for next week. What's the new time slot, Abe?
Ooh, surprise. It's gonna be at 12:30 Central. So kind of to spoil, but not really. But our topic today is kind of alluding for a change that is to come for our Northern Midwest satellite here. So you'll have to find out what it is next week. We're not gonna tell you the whole story quite yet. But yeah, look forward to next week's show. Same day, Saturday, but it'll be at 12:30 Central. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, look forward to that. Then you'll find out. You'll find out what it is. But we do have to end our show here, so we do hope that you all enjoyed the show or learned something new from it. We hope you stay phenomenal. You be phenomenal, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you tomorrow and on Monday.
Bye.